we live again? Hopefully everyone's having a good day. I've kind of had an awful day, admittingly. So, sorry if I sound sarcastic. But I'm very, very excited to be diving into this unboxing and just hanging out. So, I'm pretty pumped to be here. I'm excited for this figure. Although, I've already reviewed this figure that I have right here. I already have this figure. I've already reviewed this figure. So, maybe it's a little obvious on what's going on and maybe what's not. If you guys hadn't seen, I made a post yesterday saying that today there'd be an unboxing of a Godzilla 1954, and it is not the one that you think it is. So, hi James, how's it going? So I've got my poster version over here, sitting nicely, and a new pose that I want to take some photos of in a little bit. Excuse me. Almost thought that was fast. What was fast? Getting the movie graphic. I actually... Okay, so spoiler alerts, this isn't the movie graphic plushie, or movie graphic 54. This is not the movie graphic 1954, but I will be getting that, I think, next week. I should be getting my invoice from Hobby Genki for my tariff charge here in the next, few days. They've already emailed me saying that it was on hold because it was the old FedEx option, not the duties paid. And I already sent them an email, and we've already kind of chatted. So I'm just waiting for the invoice, and then there's that. And then the 54 movie graphic will be on the way. So hopefully next week. Next week is what I'm expecting. But we'll see. Still waiting for Mega Gearus. I wonder what you will be on unboxing then. Okay. Well, let's not waste any more time, and let's get into that, because this is also supposed to be just a chill stream, as per why we're on the PC, because basically, if I'm going to unbox a figure that I've already owned, and already reviewed, I'm not going to do the mobile streams. I want to do it on the PC. This was from a very good friend of mine, Thursday Toys. You guys know him. If you don't, go check him out. I've had a MonsterArts box that I've been slowly paying off from him. And then I asked him if he had one on my list. One that I did not need this fast. But I wanted it very specifically for the movie graphic plus. Whoa. Interesting. Very specifically for the... Whoa, wait a second. Well, okay, spoiler alert, so it's the original 1954. This is the, where is it? This is the 2015 release? 2016? 2016 release. This is the 2016 release. So this is the one that I used to own, not my exact copy, because this is Adam's copy and not mine. But the thing that got me very confused is he's so blue on the back. That's not my my PC doing that. That's the box. Huh. I don't remember it being that blue. I might have to ask him. That's interesting. Otherwise, I mean, the box has gone somewhere. Not a big deal. It's a used figure. He sold it to me for a good deal, so... waiting for Mega Gearus. Yeah, should be hopefully soon, Shark. Hopefully. You got this guy just for the comparison. Such a good reviewer. Well, I didn't get it just for the comparison, because I'm a forums and heat ray versions, and I don't know, I guess maybe I haven't been very vocal about it. So the movie graphic plus 54 Godzilla, the Shodai Godzilla, is gonna be my atomic version, because the dorsal plates are really bright, so it looks like a heat ray version. So for me, that's what that figure is the heat ray 54, So, of course, I needed a regular 54 to go with it because the poster version is the poster version and not, um, obviously, not the original black and white, monocolors. So, we got the mono colored 1954 and specifically the original one because this was my one. I own this one. And two, I like the colors of the original 1954 much more um, than the um, than the reissue versions of this figure. There's been two reissues, and he's just gotten kind of lighter, and just it doesn't look quite right. I really like how dark and kind of like just edgy this one is. Even the dorsal plates really aren't technically the right color at all, even just on the screen. But I like the way that these look, so I wanted the original 2016 release, and well, Adam had it and worked out a deal for it. So here it is, the regular 1954, the base standard first release. Yeah, it's in good condition. It's got some just like some shelf wear to it. Nothing major. In fact, outside of like just natural shelf wear, this thing is like perfect. The nails are really good. Toenails. Almost no paint chips. Yeah, just shelf wear. So, all things I am A-okay with. Things you'd expect on a figure that's been open for 10 years almost, as of this summer. Which is kind of crazy. It's been 10 years. But yeah, so regular 1954. I'm very excited. Wow, you got the 1 of 1,000 blue 54. I mean, it would have kind of been crazy if I pulled this out and this 54 was actually blue, kind of like that Bandai that came out, that Movie Monster series exclusive, the blue one. That would have been kind of cool, but yeah, I just don't remember the box being this blue. Not, once again, not complaining, and even if that's something that he somehow did, the only thing that I could maybe see is that maybe this was sitting on in front of a window, and this is light. In fact, that probably is what this is. This is probably light wear, so once again, not a big deal. It was just a little bit of a surprise. So, if they want to do a blue version of this MonsterArts, go right ahead. So, does the movie graphic plus version come with an atomic breath? No, it doesn't. No accessories besides the posters with the movie graphics plus. So, no atomic breaths, no nothing. So, it's just got the translucent dorsal plates. So in my brain, that's atomic breath version. So that is all there really is to that. It's not officially an atomic breath version, and they absolutely could go and just re-release. Let me take this one off of its stand. They could literally just do this version of it in black and white, and then it would completely unrule this version. But I'm a completist, as we know, and I said one day eventually I would get every release. Well, once the movie graphic 54 is in my hands, I will have, as of the recording of that video and live stream, I will have all 354s, not including reissues of the same release. So I won't have the two variant reissues of this guy, and they're actually, I believe there was a unofficial re-release for this. It got another wave of stock. So I believe maybe there was just more somewhere else, but yeah. Now you guys can see my collection of Panda Express teriyaki sauces right there, which is crazy because I eat 3 every time I go there. So that just shows how many extras they give me, because they know I like the teriyaki sauce, because I'm a white chick when it comes to teriyaki. So, or Panda Express, I should say. So, also, something else that I bought this past week, I'll bring it over, because you guys definitely haven't seen it yet, is this poster. I don't know if this is just a reprint, an unofficial reprint, or an official reprint from back in the day. It looks fine on here. It's huge, obviously. It's just the Oriyoshi, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, 54 movie poster. So I got this at my local shop. So I also got a corn one. See, and the way that they name these, though, makes it look like they're real. Here's the corn one. This is a poster, but when you look at them closely, they kind of just look like knockoff reprints. Or at least the Godzilla one does. This corn one actually looks really clean. So this probably is an official corn poster. This one, I don't know. It kind of looks like when I get really close to it and look at it, it does look like the GMK one, which is in my GMK poster in the hallway. That is an official reprint, so it's not like it's a knockoff. Not that it's a really big deal with posters, because unless it's like artist versions like that, then I get a little bit. MG Pox is so I'll feel bad seeing you open it. Yeah, man, it's so pretty. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. It looks awesome. Show the poster collection. I wish I could. They're all, well, some of them are in the hallway, and some of the other ones are behind my door in frames, some of them. And then the rest of them are over here behind the shelf, so I can't even show those off right now. Yeah, there's literally no posters I could really show. I could really swing my camera over. I'd have to mess up my whole display and get a cord everywhere, and show the Shin Godzilla poster that's right next to the review station in the bedroom, or not the bedroom, the TV and stuff. So I literally turn when I'm taking my photos here, right here. You guys can't see it. So like when we do the live stream on the phone sits here, desk is right here, right there, and then it's wall, window, TV, shelf. Yeah, you guys get it. When I do so like the reels I use the reels to cheat out collection videos, so I don't have to like do a big one. But Larissa and I went and we really did like a pretty big spring cleaning this year, and we've got the house like pretty damn nice. The only thing we're missing is our stair light, which is about like 20 feet. The ceiling is like 20 feet into the air, so you need a tall ladder for it. We just need to do that so we can have a light, so I could actually show off the posters. So right now I can't even like record a short of the posters that are in my hallway because it's just too dark. I've tried taking one of my big lights. I don't know why I grabbed this one. You guys wouldn't be able to see it even if I... Oh, so yeah, one of the big lights that I use. This thing's huge. It just makes the posters like super reflective and you can't see anything. So when we get a brand new light installed, a light bulb installed, well, it's not even installed, it's just changed. We need to change the light bulb, but we need like I said, a big ladder, a 10-foot ladder to be able to reach up there. So once we get that done, then I'm thinking about doing a short / reel showing off just the posters, because I have huge poster collector, big poster guy. I don't really talk about it, and the last few years I haven't really bought that many posters also, to be fair. So it's not like, oh, I'm a secret poster collector and I've been buying just as many posters. Not really. Have I bought Godzilla posters over the last like 3 or 4 years? Absolutely. Bought 2 $500 Mondo posters for F's sake. The Shin Godzilla set, I got those. Those are expensive. We got the official 4K 10th anniversary theatrical US poster. I forget what it's called. It moves. It looks like it's moving. So we got that. We've got a few -1 posters. The Space Godzilla one. I've gotten a few Slipknot ones and a few Korn ones. Or that one Korn one. I was supposed to get another one and then it sold before I could get it. At somewhere downtown, a music stop in town, they had a really kind of an older vintage Korn poster that I was like kind of on the wall with. I don't regret not getting it, but I also like not regret getting it. You know what I mean? So, and then I have a ton of band photo or posters. Like I have a ton of Slipknot ones. I have a ton that aren't like hung up or have frames. A lot of my poster collection isn't even in frames. They're most of them are rolled up and or they're in frames. They're just not hung up on the wall. Like I have a few over down there that I need to reframe, get smaller frames for. So, but frames have gotten really expensive over the last 2 years. Like just to get the Shin Godzilla one, it was like 60 bucks for like just like a Walmart one, not a fancy one, but also like one that just looks good. Not as fancy as my Mondo Shin Godzilla posters. Those were like 60 bucks for that size. And that's the main thing that stops me from posters is the frame. Because I always have to, for me at least, when I think about while I'm budgeting this year specifically, like even these I didn't do it for. These were kind of impulse purchases because I'm screwed on the poster size. They're big, like they're movie poster size. Um, like theater posters. Um, the frames need to go into the cost. So yeah, I might find a poster, like Mondo might drop a poster. It's $100. I'm I'm all for paying that price. I personally don't mind. You know, it's expensive. It's basically like half a MonsterArts. But I like posters. I really, really do. And I've spent way more on Slipknot posters and signed band posters. So like $100 for or even almost $200 like the Shin Godzilla one. Not that bad. But then need to add the frame costs. So now like today I was looking at work to get a frame for these two. It's about $30 each. So right now, so that the larger side is on a rollback. So it's not $40. It's 30 per both of these. So when will they get actually put up on the wall? I have no idea. Larissa's also bought me a few posters over the last 2 years, and I don't, the frames, I would never ask her to buy frames. They're so expensive. That's a me thing. So sorry guys, the edible is hitting today, or the edible is hitting about now. So getting a little rambly. So I'm gonna reset and get us back on task here. But yeah, one of these days, hopefully, even for the posters that I don't have framed, hopefully, maybe before I sell this table, I can get them all laid out. Because even you guys want to know how bad of a guy I am. That box right there, that Amazon box, that has all of the artwork from all the conventions I've gone to since COVID. So from 2022 on, and I think it has some of my set lists from shows, from from going to band shows and just being given the set list after a show, or if it was signed and included in my meet and greet packages, which is the reason why I don't go to a lot of concerts. If there's not meet and greets, I actually it turns me off unless it's a band that doesn't do meet and greets anymore. So like Korn doesn't do it, Slipknot doesn't do it a lot anymore or at all, unless they're doing an event. So I typically I don't worry about them. But like newer bands, like I missed out on the meet and greets for King 810. They were in town last year, and that was one of the reasons I didn't go. So I missed out on the meet and greet. So I was a little butthurt. So, but that's got all my AMA artwork. I bought 25 art prints at AMA too. All of those are in there. All of the signatures, all of my photos, all of that stuff is in there. I typically, as long as it's my photos, the photos that I take, or I have someone take for me, for my meet and greets, whether it's bands or actors, actresses, anyone like that, any meet and greet, no matter who they are, no matter how big or small, I typically like to at least have a Walmart quality printout of. So I have a ton of those in there. So I have mine with Takarada. My AMA ones are in there. I think I got most of those printed out, and stuff like that. From the past, a lot of my band ones are in there. So A lot of my Corey Taylor ones and Stone Sour. I need to update it with the Knotfest shenanigans from 2 years ago, 2024. So yeah, but yeah, so that's maybe one of these days. Not worrying about framing. I'll get it all set out, and I'll make a nice video of all the ones that are on the wall, and then I'll be like, here's all the ones that aren't on the wall, and then I'll just have them set up kind of like how that one is. That's kind of like, it looks nice just as like the background, so I can do that. Just have it set it up against the wall, and film it really nicely so it doesn't have lens flare and stuff. I think that could be fun. So I would like to talk about not I don't want to just talk about MonsterArts and toys all the time. I do actually really like talking about everything else in this well, sometimes I like talking about things in this hobby, or this community of just Godzilla in general, and not just MonsterArts and the toys. But I just never know, what people want. We've tried that before. We tried talking about movies and stuff, but I never really knew how to curate and plan it and describe it in a way that made sense, that worked for my style of things. I don't like that my bald ass head is just like in the frame. I'm gonna raise myself up a little bit, because I did change the camera angle a little bit, so or the webcam angle, so like, it's just it's a weird thing because I want to do those things, but also like, right now is a great example. I go off on tangents. I can't really talk, the way that comes to mind is I can't talk straight. That's a weird way of putting it, but I think just by saying that sentence, most people, like, I don't talk normally or fluently. It's just not. I'm very unorthodox in everything I do. So like, uncontrolled, some of it is like just built up habit, and some of it is like just I can't help it. I don't have a diagnosis for anything, so I'm not gonna throw anything out there. I don't want to self-diagnose, of course, or misdiagnose myself. But like, there's some obvious things going on here. But I think, at least. But you made posters seem too expensive. Now I'm discouraged. No. So those are just the ones that I said that I go for. So like, when it comes to band stuff, like, I only get posters at shows, and they're already marked the hell up, and typically they're signed, so they're even more expensive. And for movie posters, I've been going for like the grand big stuff. But posters in general aren't that bad. If you have a Hot Topic, Spencer's, even Walmart will have like a Godzilla poster from time to time, and theirs are regrettably in that kind of frustrating size where they're a little bit harder, but there are cheaper frames. You can have temporary ones that you put together. Now you are supposed to technically glue them and then just leave one side kind of loose, so you can, if you ever have to move the poster out of the frame or move it to a new frame, you can do that pretty easy. But those really frustrate me. So even like on a discount, I don't really recommend those, because my girlfriend she got me one of the Godzilla posters that was available at Walmart. It was the kind of like it's almost that traditional, like that artwork painting, that that Japanese styled artwork, but then it has Godzilla thrown in there as like a, I don't know, fourth wall break, I guess, technically. He's put into the artwork, and obviously the artwork's changed. It's not the same exact artwork. She's got me that one. The Waves, I believe it's called. I don't know. It's pretty. Like, I'm high right now, so like I said, I'm not gonna be able to talk too much sense. But she was gonna buy one of those cheap frames, and she was like, "Do you want me to?" And I was like, not really, because they are really frustrating. And then I pointed to one of the posters that's on the wall. It's like, look at how two sides of it have already fallen off and they're just hanging off on the ground. It's like, I don't want you to buy this frame and feel bad that it's frustrating, because I already know it's frustrating. So I was like, I don't want you to use your money, and I don't want you to feel bad for something. So she got me that poster. So now I have got to get my own frame. And I'm very excited to get that one on the wall. That one's going to go in our bedroom. So, Godzilla Through the Waves. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That exact one. That's now like, yeah, yep. I have that on a shirt. Yeah, it's been on a shirt. It's been everywhere now because it's a really fun, just kind of like, most people know the Waves poster, and most people know Godzilla, so it's just kind of like one of those just like pop culture things where it's like boom, boom, fused together. It's fun. It's fun. Should I? Damn. The light's not really bright, so it makes this thing look like super dark. But if I brighten this up, like, you're gonna see through me because I'm just so white. Do you? Oh, what's that? Oh, wait. Is that on my webcam? Yeah, that's a reflection. Okay. That's why I was like, it looked like there was like a little part of my screen that wasn't working, but I think it's just the webcam and just some of the pixels. But should we re-review this? Should I do like an updated like short? It wouldn't be a full-on review. It would just be like a short and be like, there's this figure from 10 years ago. Does it still compare to its poster color anniversary version and now the movie graphics plus? I don't know. Would you guys have fun with that, or should I just leave it to the comparison in the movie graphic plus, which, yes, we are going to do it in the review, or in the review for the movie graphic plus, because I really don't want to take a lot of time talking about it. Like, the longest part of that review, in theory, should only be the detail and the paint, and really just like the differences. And half of that is going to hinge around me showing it off with the original and the poster color, the poster color anniversary version, because that's the best way to show how different it is. They're going to see me through because I'm so white, bro. You crack me up, Mugs. Yeah. Hey, that was not the word I was going to use, but we want everyone comfortable. So I'd honestly give it a very, very mini reflection in the reflection. Yeah. Okay, maybe we can do that. So when I bring all three out, I can close that section of the review off and just be like, I really like all three. What I'm likely going to say is I'm probably going to like the movie graphic plus version, hopefully the most. I'm very confident. The dorsal plates are gorgeous, and the gray or the silver that they put in the dorsal plates, to be the highlights of the skin on that version is so gorgeous. The way that the light shines through it, it looks like it's in the dorsal plate rather than it's so good. Oh, hey Matt, how's it going? It's okay. I already unboxed Adam's original 1954, so that was the surprise. This is not the movie graphic plus, obviously. I should have it next week though. I just have to pay my tariffs for it, which is only like $12 or $13. So I'm really not worried because I think I talked about this last time I was on stream, but I'll mention it here again, just to show that it will be quicker. Hobby Genki is quick at shipping. It's just that I didn't get this one switched to duties paid first, or duties protection, whatever it's called, DDP. FedEx, it was just regular FedEx, but I got the 2014 and the Gotengo and Final Wars Heat Ray Goji already updated, and actually I have to pay for them after the live stream because I just got paid from work, so I've got to pay those off because we're paying them early. So those two will be paid. The second form and third form and unidentified object Shin set is also going to be paid for. So I won't have to pay for that later. So I've only got 4 MonsterArts that we have to pay for. And we should have a reveal this week. I almost wanted to do this a little bit later in case, because Tamashi's been doing really weird reveal times. Very, very odd. Super late in the morning for me. I'm typically waking up to get ready for work when they've been they'll drop it like an hour or two before then at 3 or 4 a.m. So I don't know what's really going on there. It's a little scary because I want to be awake when these reveals happen, and if they're not going to be at 8, 9 o'clock, I work really early in the morning. That really hurts my schedule, and hurts the chances of a breaking news live stream happening the night that a reveal happens. So, but I would. With a lot of confidence, we should have a reveal within the next few days. It's Wednesday. It could be tonight. Sure, can't wait to see Kaiser. Yeah, man. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait to see the MonsterArts Kaiser. Because that's the only super impressive Kaiser to be revealed this year so far. Thumbs up. Yeah. Wow. That Haya fucking looks cool. It looks good. It looks good. It looks really good. Can't beat 100 and... It was 124? 129? Can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Even if it doesn't come out until 2028, it's going to be a fourth of the cost of the MonsterArts. So anyone who's choosing to buy the Haya over the MonsterArts is, as I always say, being fucking smart. Because MonsterArts is more of a luxury. Being smart is buying Haya. We've already talked about that, though. Doesn't change the fact that I love MonsterArts. I love my MonsterArts, and I don't mind. But being a smart collector when financials and everything else is kind of going to shit, and economy is kind of going to shit right now, if you're in the U.S. at least. I mean, even in Japan, like, pick and choose, like, it's a lot easier to be like, well, just wait until the Hayas are actually released. I think Japan gets them pretty quick since they're so close to China. So when because their Amazon JP gets them officially, if I'm not mistaken, or a seller sells them on Amazon JP for, I think, just like very slightly over retail, I think. Or it's even cheaper for them. Because I think Kaiser was only like 12,000 yen, 13,000 yen for them. So technically with conversion rate, that's already cheaper than the USD, which was 124. So Toho can't let that happen. I mean, the MonsterArts is still going to be out before the Haya, so I don't know if anyone noticed, but there's like 8 or 9 releases, I'm pretty sure, for Q2 next year. So good fucking luck for that coming out on time. But it is a fourth of the cost before shipping and tariff and whatever the USD is going to do. The last few releases have been fine with the USD, but Legion was like marked up to hell because of the tariff. Because once the more expensive something is, the more that tariff jumps. So like base MonsterArts don't hurt. Like I said, it's like $12 for the duties. Hopefully for this 54, it should only be about $12 because that's what they charged me for 2014. 2014 and 54 were the exact same price. All things considered, so it's cheaper on Kowalski than BBTS. But you'll make up for it on shipping. You'll make up for shipping from Kowalski's though. So because it's importing, so you're gonna be paying that tariff more upfront if I'm not mistaken. But they are pretty quick at shipping. I'm told they got better. Ooh, you guys see that? That was gross. How have I been doing? It's been a last couple days in this community, from all over the place. So it's I'm just we're just living a little bit. We're just trying to live. I'm enjoying my 54, my double MonsterArts 54 box day weeks. Yeah, it's been and I have not been keeping up with most of it either. I've kind of just been skimming, and Yeah. So it's, yeah, not good. Nah, 40 shipping. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so it's 103 there. So yeah, that's, and then shipping is 40. Is that with the tariff included on the shipping on Kowalski? Because if that's included, that's insane. Um, it's so much more expensive to ship from Japan. But that's also boat, if I'm not mistaken. Because that's the shipping I used when I got the re-evolved 2024, and it took like a month and a half to get here, and that was back when there was no issues. Uh, was not impressed with that shipping. So, but if it's faster than what that was, then well, that's really good because I'm sure as hell not getting the MonsterArts Kaiser Ghidorah shipped from Japan for $40 after tariff. That's for sure. But Kaiser should be soon. Articulation. I asked Articulation Series about it during which stream was it? Megaguirus's Shin movie graphic. I can't remember. It was one of the last streams, and I asked him about Kaiser because I was like, oh, so Kaiser should be, because I was like, are we gonna see something in this month for April, or are they gonna skip it? And when Final Wars and Gotengo drops, they're gonna, solicit Kaiser because that makes sense. And he said no. It's probably gonna be July or September or July or August. So it more than likely is July, but he said August is also very likely for full solicitation for Kaiser. So we've actually got a few more months. Not really good timing for me. July is not good. We have two gigantic Shin Godzillas. We have to ship one of them out at the end of June, so yeah, not good to have that. And then, like I said, the plan is to pay for Kaiser right away up front. I would even, and I don't expect it because it wasn't this way with Legion. With Legion, almost no one was doing pay later for importing. You had to pay for it up front. So the plan is, because I think it's going to go that way again, even with Genki, is that it's probably going to be up front. So it's going to be the full conversion plus shipping up front. And I want to pay for it all right then and there. I want to be done with it. So I don't want to have to be like, oh, Kaiser's coming out in January in 2027, and I'm trying to go to Japan again. And now, right before Japan, I have to drop $800 for something that, or probably not $800. It's probably only going to be like $250, $300. It shouldn't be larger than Legion's box, hopefully. Hopefully. I don't want to do that before a theoretical Japan trip or whatever is happening next year. So like this Kaiser Ghidorah is probably going to be like $800 after shipping from Japan. So it's probably going to be about $450, and then, like I said, probably $300 shipped after tariff. So so we're talking about, it looks like Kaiser's probably actually going to be solicited in July, and I'm just saying that's a bad time for me because I have to pay for the Rick Gigantic Shin shipping at the end of June, beginning of July. And I'm expecting that to basically be like a month and a half's worth of figure budget. And now, if Kaiser is theoretically solicitized at if they do it at the beginning of July, I'm just fucked. So that's like that is probably like an easy $1,600 that month in figure budget, because between shipping out Shin, buying Kaiser outright, just at what I'm thinking, and then if I can't get ahead of my pre-orders in July, we also have SH Figure Arts Ultraman Zerth, SH Figure Arts Shinko Hoseiho Ultraman 60th Anniversary Deluxe Effect Set. I have to buy, or, that has to be paid for in July. Zerth has to be paid for in July. Super Saiyan Goku Blue 3.0 Figure Arts comes out in July. The Super Saiyan First Awakened Goku, is that what they're calling the 3.0 Frieza Saga blue shirt Goku, very first transformation Goku, finally. I was not able to get a pre-order for that from Japan or from the US, so I have to hopefully hope and pray that Nin or Genki gets a little extra stock, probably at a pretty huge upcharge, and gonna have to buy that as well. So that's probably gonna be another 140, 150 bucks. So yeah. Oh, I'm missing some stuff. 800, good lord, Tanner, wait, if you don't pre-order Kaiser, expecting it to be somewhat available maybe in November. If Kaiser's solicited in July, Kaiser won't come out until next year. So, Kaiser literally has to be solicited here within the next 2 weeks or by the end of May, or it will not come out in 2026. So, and just from what Articulation Series suggested, it sounds like maybe something happened, maybe I was a little over zealous with May, maybe we all were when it was first announced, and it sounds like it will be July, so it sounds like it's actually going to be a 2027 release. So, hey Adam, dude, I'm loving the 54, thanks buddy. I'm loving it. It literally is like holding my original 54 again. So it's really cool. Thanks. Actually, Adam, while you're here, was this always so blue on the back? This is not my PC making this look blue. If you go and watch the beginning of the stream, like, I'm so distracted by how blue it is. Was this just always this blue and I just don't remember it this way? Or are my eyes fucking with me? I'm also really high right now, so. Ooh, I wait in misery until Mega Gearus arrives. Other than that, well, to be fair, Shark, I believe if they haven't already, the last Mega Gearuses should be getting out by the middle of May. Because let's go on Amazon really quick. Amazon is actually kind of a good way to see like the end of runs, to kind of see like where they're getting it. So like they're saying they're not going to have the US release of this until the end of November. They're expecting some really bad fallout with that figure. So that's kind of like a good right. So where is Mega Gearus? So yeah, they're going to get theirs in May 16th. Is when Amazon's gonna get theirs, so that's kind of like, hopefully it's not that late, but that would be kind of what I would look at for estimating on time. So it's still not soon. I wish I could tell you it's gonna be sooner, because that's still like what, 4 weeks away. Yeah, that's the next two Dokkan banners. We literally had a surprise Dokkan Fest LR from Xenoverse 2, no less, coming to Dokkan tonight. And then the Golden Week dual Dokkan Fest sounds like it's going to be on the 7th. So, but it should be here by then. James, I don't remember. I had the box in the cabinet for most of its life, so then yeah, it's probably just me just not remembering. Oh, you're a year to wait, but maybe the US Goji store is better bet. They make it Kaiser later, that way you can have an easier time. Well, yeah, but as a reviewer, I have to get this shit ASAP. The only reason I'm not stressed out about Movie Graphic 54 is that it looks like almost no one got it, regrettably. A lot of the reviewers that I watched didn't get it. I've only had 3 reviews pop into my subscription feed, and I went to my normal targets that typically get everything, and they don't. No videos for 54. So I'm just not really just not too worried. So I'm just not too worried. So I'm saying she like it's Mega Gearus. 54 should be here next week though. So that's, a few of the people, I'm sure Ultrazilla and Steven are probably going to get theirs before I do, and their reviews will be out, and that's fine. That's all good. So, but to relate it back to Kaiser, I gotta try to be the first one to get it. So like, because I already like, it's now taking me like almost a week after unboxing these, to getting the review out, because I've been wanting to take time and work's just draining. So like sometimes I don't like Destroya. I didn't even get to play with Destroya. So after the unboxing, I got to play with it that night. Next day went to work. Or no, that's when Larissa and I did our spring cleaning. So I got it like kind of in the middle, and it was a break. We went back to cleaning. The next day, woke up. We cleaned all day basically, and had a date day together. It was a lot of fun. I don't, not complaining. Didn't get to touch Destroy at all, and then I went to work, so I didn't get to touch it for like almost 4 days after the unboxing. So like or 3 days, excuse me. So I gotta get it here sooner so I can get my time with it, so I can get the review out, because I don't want to just make the review right after the unboxing, because I want to actually feel for it. I want to see like within like a few days, is there already issues that maybe it didn't have when I unboxed it, like, oh, does something pop off? Like something I saw zero reviews of Mega Gearus talk about it, and I'm the only one I've seen have the issue. One of her feet liked to pop off because they're ball joints, but mine were stuck. One of them got unstuck, but now it just likes to fall out when I move it. So it's fine once it's in the joint, but if I tap it or if I'm moving the legs around and they bump it, it falls right off. So it's not in anyone else's review, because basically everyone, including me, we got the figure and we went right to review it, and we didn't really give it enough time. So one of those QC, very small QC issue, but still sometimes can be a little scary, because sometimes I have to look up and I have to get really close to make sure that foot doesn't just fall off and is just gone, it doesn't get vacuumed or the dog doesn't eat it. So whatever the first one was, got it from Ami Ami, yeah. So yeah, Adam and I got and I got mine from BBTS back in the day, but yeah, I really, really like how dark this is. In fact, Adam looks like he had mine now has the darker. I remember there was like paint runs where the dorsals were painted a little darker. They kind of more splotchy, and then some of them, like my original one, they were more like just a straight line and a little bit thinner. So it's kind of cool that I got the two different color ways, quote unquote, on this. And I like it. I really do like it. I'm very excited to see this stand up next to the Movie Graphic Plus. And I've already shown it off a few times, but it looks so good here with the poster color version. These two look so sick next to each other. I love this figure. Low-key, one of my favorite figures from MonsterArts ever, period. 54 was so good back in the day, and still so good. They posted today they'll be getting her within the next 2 weeks. There we go. Movie Graphic 54 is supposed to arrive on July 15th. That's a long time from now. Yeah, the U.S. distribution is weird. And then if you get it from like Amazon gets everything basically last. Amazon and Entertainment Earth are typically the last ones. So Kaiser Ghidorah is going to need a 45-minute review. I don't know if it'll be that long. Because Legion also probably should have had like a longer review, and there's a lot I cut out, and there was so much more I could have focused on the flying form, but I really just did not want to do with it. It was really cool having it set up, but like it was also kind of one of the scariest. Never gonna do it again. We'll put it at that. I'll never do it again unless I get a second Legion, and I don't foresee me getting a second Legion. So. Gotcha. By the way, Tanner, what are your thoughts on the black line spray on the dorsals I saw it was an irritation for some. I don't personally, I love it. I think especially when you put the light through it, it makes it look like it's bone inside the dorsal. So it makes the dorsals look like they're lighting up, and that makes the actual skin part look like it's, being being caught in the light, so it makes it look smaller. It makes it look like it's glowing out from, it gives it a 3D effect. I don't know the best way to describe it. Gotta run. Enjoy the figure. Of course, Adam. Thanks again, man. I loving it. I can't wait to take photos with it. So, and I have all three 54s next to each other and just hanging out. Oh, I've got some ideas. We've got some ideas, man. So, ayo. Thank you so much for noticing me. Oh, I love that taking the bone inside the dorsal. That's cool. Yeah, it's kind of, that's just the vibe I got. I do, so I can understand, it doesn't look like it's the most consistent. The main dorsal are, let me change the camera again. Let me get up close. This one looks like it's pretty, pretty forward on all of them, where it's like, up until the tip. But this one, I've noticed they've been kind of, one was really thick and really full, and another one was really thin, and not full. Consistent on both sides, thankfully, but not consistent between two different figures. So, I could see some people not liking that, because if you really like the look of the thinner one and you get one of the thicker ones, I could understand. It's everyone's personal. It's their money for that figure. I'm not gonna argue with someone on there if they don't care for it. Just try not to take it too seriously anymore. Because then it's just opinion versus opinion, and it just too serious for what these are. These are literally just plastic toys of something we really care about, and something that does have a lot of meaning, especially 54 very specifically. But it's just not that deep. I think some people, I think people are a little aggressive lately. I've been seeing some things, so, but that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. People can have their opinions. That's okay. Poster one is my favorite still. I'm curious to see how I'm gonna feel. I do, like I said, I do think the graphic is gonna take it. I have, the second we got our first translucent MonsterArts, the 54 heat ray, just like, it just always birthed this idea of if they don't paint and do the metallic paint like the GMK, these animals in their opinions, I mean, no, these fellow collectors, we're all a little too mean to each other, and we're not nice enough to each other. All of us equally, well, some more than others, but at the end of the day, we're all. It's just life right now. It's the environment. I'm hoping things can start, continually going in a better way, so we can all be a little less stressed. Economy can get better, so money means a little bit more again. So people can less stressfully enjoy their hobbies, their admittingly very expensive hobbies like MonsterArts. Even just collecting MonsterArts and Figuarts Ultraman figures, and then some Dragon Ball figures, and then obviously Surprise Gigantics, and a few other purchases this year. Very stressful, even though it is very much laid out in front. We're almost at the end of the year for reveals. I just learned today that the Figuarts Dragon Ball line probably only has one or two more reveals, and then that's it for the 2026 releases, and then it's moving into 2027, because Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku is December of this year. In fact, most people probably won't get it till 2027, because of the holidays and everything, and all the bullshit caused because of that. So we're getting close even with MonsterArts. MonsterArts is not as far ahead as Dragon Ball. We're only up until September, but we probably are only going to get a single, one or two, maybe three more reveals, and that's it, because there's probably going to be a break month. November is likely going to be a double. Every year, the last few years, November has been basically a double MonsterArts release. with one releasing at the very, very tip end of October or the first few days of November for Godzilla Day. Kind of like this guy. This guy technically, the Godzilla store had him November 3rd, the year that he released. Then everywhere else got him at the middle of the month. I think he was like a weird, like 18th or 20th release. Because I got this guy really quick. I had it before I got the -1, and -1 was the November end of the month general release. So November might have two. December's probably likely only going to be one, and October's probably only going to be one. So, and we kind of already know that there is a certain Godzilla movie design that is probably going to be one of those November slots for that one little sequel movie that no one knows about. It's kind of, no one, it's underground, it's not pop, it's pretty punk, -0. That's definitely not going to release this year, probably, MonsterArts. So, like, we kind of know one of the... We actually know technically 2, maybe even 3 this year. Ava Unit 1 G Awakening is probably this year. -0 Godzilla is probably this year. And then Kaiser's maybe this year. We're supposed to get 2 more Movie Graphic Plus this year as well. We're supposed to get our final 2. We're supposed to get 6 a year. So GMK and Kiryugoji haven't been solicited yet. So, and then if there's a enemy kaiju in -0, which we don't know about yet, whether it's Gravity Anguirus or Ghidorah or Hedorah or 2 Godzillas or Space Godzilla or Super Godzilla or whatever it is, if there's another one, we don't know, or at least I don't know, and I don't care to know until Toho decides it's time to tell me. So, or the toy leaks, because it's going to be impossible to not see that Bandai is going to be, here's the list for November from Bandai: Godzilla -0 and Godzilla -0 Kaiju B or Kaiju C or whatever, So, like, it's going to be hard to avoid that, but hopefully there'll be a little bit. Hopefully it'll just be in a full trailer, and then the toys will come out, and then the leaks will come out, and then we'll be like, oh, so it is coming out this year. Gravity Anguirus, instead of being like, oh, so it is Gravity Anguirus, or oh, it is Ghidorah, or it is Hedorah, or it is Gino. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I would rather see it in the trailer, be spoiled by official material, before getting it leaked by a toy. Now, it is really cool. I mean, always, the Playmates leaks are always fun, with the Monsterverse, but, like, with -0 and Toho now saying that they are ready to start Godzilla World, which is going to be Toho's version of the Monsterverse, where they want to make all these movies connect in some way, shape, or form. They're down for different artists, or different producers and artists and directors. They want to make this big, so that's, we'll see. Things are just going to get busy. This is a busy, expensive hobby. It's, even if you're only collecting one, I think towards the end of this year, if you're a movie Monster Series figure collector, you're going to be feeling it towards the end of the year. They've been quiet at the beginning of this year. There's been like a few releases, but most of it's been like Godzilla Day reveals finally just coming out, not really like new reveals. There's still been a few things, and Space Godzilla 2.0 is still coming at some point. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like -0 and God knows what else. Typically, if they're quiet one half of the year, the other half is busy. So they've been kind of quiet, honestly, for a year, because they were really busy at the beginning of last year, and then they got quiet, and now they're still quiet. So Godziverse makes Gravity Anguirus, so we all start to wonder. Then he's revealed in the trailer. That would, that's. I try to avoid all leaks and spoilers for Monsterverse and Toad. Both properties have their ups, and I love both. I cannot be happy with all the stuff we get. Yeah. I not spoiler free on Supernova, but obviously on the channel we will be. So like, we won't talk about things unless it's properly labeled. And obviously anything that Toho wants us to know about Minus Zero, moving forward, will be also properly labeled. I'm not going to be like certain content creators that, even though it's just rumors, really like to lead it on like it's real, and they throw it in the thumbnail or they throw it in their video title. I won't. We won't. Yeah, yeah. I'll be. Will be. I'll be. I'll be. Everything will be properly labeled. There will be, I'm sure, when we get the full trailer for Minus Zero, there will be plenty of live streams talking about it. I'm very excited to get back into, like I kind of said during the last Minus Zero stream, very excited to start talking movie theories. And then we'll be there not very long after with Supernova. Although it's going to be kind of hard to theory craft on Supernova because like I said, I'm not necessarily going spoiler free into it. I read the supposed leaks for the movie. Now, obviously, once again, this happened with New Empire about the same time frame where we got a draft and they were like, this is real, and then only about half of it really was in the movie, and then the other half got redone and reshot and overdid and re-examined and changed. So I do expect some things to be changed, but when we get closer to the movie's release, I don't know if I'm going to indulge then. Earlier on, I like to do it because these MonsterVerse films typically change so much by the time the movie actually releases. Even if there isn't a lot of reshoots and stuff, they just change. So it is kind of fun to see what we're working with, and then what we typically end with. If this MonsterVerse, though, movie wants to be what the current leaks is, if what I read ends up being basically one for one with what the movie actually is, it's going to be a very, very good movie. So I'm hopeful. Different director, new actors and actresses, and some, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Plenty of times in movies, Marvel's known for it because they like to hide things. One of my initial thoughts about the Minus Zero teaser is when Godzilla's walking up to the Statue of Liberty, it just looks like one of the shots from Minus One. Because Godzilla, I'm not great with my eyes, but like something just, the lighting doesn't look the same. It looks like the lighting at the final battle of Minus One, not the lighting of that shot of the Statue of Liberty. So so some people say it kind of looks like a dream sequence, or my very first opinion of it was they threw that in there with the Minus One shot because the Minus Zero shot wasn't done in time for it. Because they didn't do this with Minus One. Minus One footage didn't come out basically until July, right before G-Fest of 2023. This is quite early. And all the shots were very incredible. So I do find it weird that me and other people do see that shot and think something is up, and then even Yamazaki himself has said that shot's not quite what it appears. So could be a different kaiju, could be a different Godzilla, could be a dream sequence. It could just be a shot where in this teaser Godzilla's lighting wasn't fully matched to everything else yet. So it could be a lot of things. So Godzilla wise specifically though, it has been a very long time, I think, since something was in a trailer and not in the movie, besides maybe human parts, like human scenes. I think maybe Shin was like that. Maybe there was a few, like, technically the very first teasers for Shin that was just the people running, those shots weren't some of the shots weren't in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. One of them is during the initial second form landing, but I think some of them were unique for that teaser. So technically, you could say that, but I don't know. I know some people don't like it because it's like, well, it's false advertising because that's not what happens in the movie. But then it's like, when I think back on Infinity War and Endgame and No Way Home, like, and even Far From Home, like, it was fun going into the theater. Not, not I went into Endgame spoiler free, um, and like seeing that scene when Rocket and Smart Hulk go and find Thor, and like some of the shots of Thor, he's obviously larger than he was in that first initial trailer. So like it's cool to see things like that. So I personally don't mind. So if something like that is going on in Minus Zero, or a lot of people say the shot of the buildings moving up, it's kind of got like the blue, kind of almost like Godzilla beam color instead of like, a lot of people, me included, think it's Ghidorah. They're willing to bet it's Ghidorah, saying that it's recolored so it doesn't spoil that it's Ghidorah, even though the poster, like one of the very possibly clear like homages is that one side is dark and blue glowing and the other side is large and golden glowing, or fiery glowing. And it's like, well, it looks like Ghidorah. So it's like, I don't know if they're going that far, if that happens to be Ghidorah, which once again we don't know. I'm excited to shut off my brain and enjoy a type of Monsterverse film. I can't believe they cut out the scene of Scar King sitting above Godzilla and Kong's skulls. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are saying there might be gravity in Garrus, and that would be cool. Yeah, because it's not yellow, so that's in understandably, that's a point of saying that, well, maybe it isn't King Ghidorah, because King Ghidorah is almost always yellow and gold. So like it could be an Anguirus with gravity. We got Singular Point, which was Anguirus with the ability to instinctually see the future, technically. It had future sight or future feel, technically. So like Anguirus lately has been doing some very odd things, and Anguirus in the Showa period is very just dinosaur kaiju. Doesn't have a beam. Well, at 55 it spits out flames once or twice. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it spits out flames of 55. Maybe it doesn't. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it again. Maybe that'll be the next Godzilla movie Larissa and I rewatch, is 55. I don't know if I've shown her that one yet. That's one of the ones that, it's like, that's... Larissa's seen just about every single Godzilla movie at this point. I'm sure she has already seen 55. She actually surprisingly goes and watches them when I'm not home. When she misses me, that's typically her way of, relieving some of that, miss feeling, is watching a Godzilla movie with Tater at home. So I'm pretty sure she said she's seen every single one on HBO now at this point. So she probably has seen 55 at least once. But like I said, that's typically towards the bottom of my list of showing people. Same thing with like 92. But her and I have watched 92 once or twice. So yeah, I think she's seen all of them now at this point, actually. So yeah, damn. I guess I've never put that pieces together. Larissa's seen all the Godzilla movies. And we're going to go see Minus Zero, probably in IMAX, about 4.5 hours away in Omaha, Nebraska, I think is what we're maybe going to do. So I don't know if that's the place. There's 3 IMAX theaters basically within 4 hours of us. So we're going to take our time and decide. Probably going to rent out a hotel room that allows pets and actually bring Tater with us. So that way, don't have to find a sitter, and movie's only 2 hours, so he hopefully really only has to be alone and passed out for 3. So hopefully. I thought they just bit each other the whole time. That's what I'm thinking. Well, Godzilla definitely did atomic flames. Besides Godzilla boiling Godzilla, yeah. He used a wind roaring attack instead of that, which never really good. But like Anguirus is pretty bland power wise, so it would be cool for one of these newer films to not only bring Anguirus back, but then make it Gravity Anguirus. Or just something weird, I like that they're doing that with the older kaiju, because it's hard for them on a company level to be like, yeah, let's license out Anguirus in -0 and not King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla. Yeah, that's it. Like it's not even the big five anymore. I feel like they don't trust Rodan by Rodan's self either, which is pretty sad, because we've technically never really truly had a Godzilla versus Rodan film. And I mean, like, if the MonsterVerse isn't gonna give it to us, I would really like a good, minus Godzilla minus Rodan fight. Because they don't really fight in the ride either, so. Yeah, Anguirus is a blank slate. And that's kind of what's going to be fun about, like, a modern run. If it's Anguirus, which is probably not. But I would love to be proven wrong on that. I would. Yeah. He just sticks out. Anguirus is carried on by the personality of basically just being, like, one Godzilla's rival for one movie, and then after that Anguirus and Godzilla are best friends, like, human and dog, like Tater and I, all the way through. And then the design is just really cool. Like, you guys make me want to go and grab the MonsterArts and start playing with it, because 54 versus Anguirus, not 55, and not 55 Anguirus, but it's fine. We can do some throwdowns. Maybe that's what my next photo set will be poster color 54 and Anguirus. Maybe. And then maybe I'll do some black and white shots. Maybe. That would be fun. Ghidorah's the three-headed monster was ahead of its time. Anguirus is carried by his label of being Godzilla's best friend and just being super cool and cute. Like, it's easy. The problem is Toei never utilized Anguirus or Rodan better. Anguirus should be able to scream with such a force that it deafens Godzilla and shoots spikes from its back. Yeah, but that's like, I don't blame them, because, like, how do you do that? In the Showa era period, like, how do you do stuff like that and make it, like, look really good and not age out? So, like, once you get into Heisei, I still kind of get it, but, like, they could have figured at least, like, him shooting out his spikes and quills and stuff, and then by Millennium, like, even if it's bad CGI, like, they still could do something like that. I mean, Final Wars has him spinning in a ball and stuff, so, like, and, like, looking really good while doing it. That prop looks nice, and that suit looks really nice. MonsterArts Final Wars Anguirus, when I would love one, and then 55 as well. I mean, we need 55. It's not going to happen for a long time, but Anguirus Final Wars, though, do I think it's just going to be Heat Ray Final Wars Goji and Kaiser Ghidorah? Is it just going to be 2 Final Wars releases, and technically the Final Wars reissue last year? Is it just going to be that, or are they going to do another reissue? Monster X could get a Decisive Battle version. They're kind of stuck with Gigan. They can't really do anything with Gigan unless it's... I mean, yeah, his is great battle version, so I guess they kind of can fool. I don't know what they could do with Gigan, and we technically really don't need another Gigan. You only need 2. So there's only two, because one permanently in chainsaw mode, the other one permanently in regular, claw mode, and boom, you got it. That's it. So like, you know, and technically, like, really, the first one should be the chainsaw one, the first release, and then the decisive battle version should be the clawed one, because those ones have the claws that pop off, so you can do the chanting. Tater. Papa. Babushka. Tater. What was that? I heard you. Sorry. Sounded like he was giving a little whine. I wanted to make sure he was... Okay, just give me a second, actually. I want to make sure he's okay. I don't know where he's at. There you are. Maybe you are in the door. Okay. He probably is getting ready to... need to do his thing again, but he's just sitting down listening to the kids play by the door. He likes to listen. He doesn't want to see the kids or be pet by the kids or get near the kids. But he sure does like to listen to him play and, have their time. He's kind of like me, an observer. I got called that at work today. I got called an observer, and I was like, I don't think that's a compliment. Oh, according to a random data book, they were venomous. That's cool. I need to get back to work. All right, James, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Have a good night at work. Hopefully, it's a good night. I want 55 Anguirus, yeah. I hope Haya will start pumping out Final Wars Kaiju instead of random Monsterverse tins. I'm sure that's probably what is going to happen. We have MonsterX, we have Kaiser, Final Wars Goji. There's a prototype of Final Wars Goji, right? Or a tease, or just like a solid piece, wasn't there? Or no? Is there no Final Wars Goji yet? So like, then Final Wars Goji and then Gaigan. They're probably just gonna... Honestly, Haya's probably just gonna... There's not? Okay. Yeah, Haya's probably just gonna start pooping them out. Which, to be fair, and this is how competition works, this is how branding works, every brand kind of gets to hear a little bit about what the other brands are working on. That Kaiser Ghidorah by Haya was definitely a fucking low blow. Let's not mistake anything going on here. It was a little... It was dirty. It was, Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. It was a little dirty. It was a sucker punch. Once again, all's fair in branding. That's how it works. And that's just how it goes. MonsterArts should have revealed and solicited theirs first. Not that it would have changed, because once again, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. Maybe not quite as bad as Legion, hopefully, especially if you're going to pre-order it USD and not import. If you're importing, you're screwed because the box is going to be huge. Probably the same. I could see it being not as long as Legion's, but about the same thickness. Probably still in styrofoam. I think Kaiser will be in styrofoam, but it's gonna. It probably will be a little bit thicker, and it's definitely going to be taller. So I think it's gonna lose some length, but it's gonna get taller and thicker compared to Legion's box. So I think it's still going to be like 200 plus, 250, close to 300, and that's mostly going to be tariff. Shipping probably still, at base without the tariffs, probably still going to be like 150, 160, 180 bucks. About the average price of your MonsterArts figure, an average Japanese web shop exclusive. So, Mega Gearus, Destroya, Shimo, kind of, we'll see. Taller and thicker, that's what she said. Yeah. Speaking of which, I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let me see if Tamashi has posted anything yet today. Titanic Creations has announced that they've reached a deal. They're going to be doing a Gappa, an articulated Gappa. I would love to get their figures. They are just on a smaller scale than MonsterArts, and it just that scale is such a big thing. It's why I can't do Haya either. Haya are larger than MonsterArts. They're in the 7-inch scale. It just how it is. Some of them do work, like Legendary Goji technically does work, kind of. 2014 and Evolved don't, but 2019, 21, and re-evolved 24 does. And like some of the other kaiju work, they're small for 54 as well. No, 54 is small. But 2014 is like 54 small, right? Like the Haya 2014 is like super tiny, isn't it? But yeah, they still like the ones that might work, the ones that I'm considering, and I'm just waiting for the movie graphic 2014 to come out because I know someone is going to put the Haya first release. Oh, the Titanic. Yeah. They're too small. They're like, I wish Adam was still here. I believe they're like 4.5 inches tall. I believe they're smaller than they are a bit smaller than 64 still. I think they fit in scale with 64. If I'm not mistaken, kind of technically. I personally would like to screw some of the official and kind of have like Gorgo and like we'll see with Gappa. Maybe Gappa will be a little bit larger, but I would like them to be more closer to MonsterArts 54. Be similar. I like them to kind of be just like a base, like kind of 54 size, since they're all mostly Showa kaiju, but they're just they're kind of in that Revoltech scale, maybe a little larger. Titanic Creations just released a building set, or is about to release a building set. That set works with your MonsterArts stuff, so they look really big with their figure, or kind of like not really big, but big, like good scale with theirs, and they're gonna look kind of like medium scale with 54, and then stuff like Shin, your Hayas, your larger Godzillas, and even just your larger kaijus, they're gonna look kind of smaller, and I think that's gonna work really well. So I would really, besides their the electrical Tokyo, the electric lines, I think they have a few of those. Those might be a little too large, but I also think that's fine because I don't mind upscaling some of the. I don't mind upscaling buildings and downscaling the kaiju a little bit, just because with photography, the reason I still have all my buildings from the few years that I've bought buildings, they're all sitting under my desk. I don't use them just because I don't feel like I have enough. So like I just need to like, that was one of the big things about going to Japan is they got model kits and stuff, and they just have like building model kits everywhere, in craft stores and stuff that are in scale, made to be in scale with, this scale of figure, your 1/12th, your 1/10th, they all, you can get your different scales. So I wanted to, in Japan, go and get a bunch of them. A few officially licensed replicas, and then as many just general buildings as I could, because they're super cheap in Japan. Super cheap. Get a ton of them. I could get a whole suitcase full of them for, a couple of buildings over here, which, never to downplay anyone else's work and sculpting and their prices. It's just benefits of going to Japan with currency conversion and stuff. So because I want to start, I feel like that's sometimes what holds some of my photography back, is like I've got a few explosions, I would still like a few more, and I can't wait for the reissues to come out in September, from BBTS. That's where I got my explosion reissues. I've got 2 of each, right? 2 of each. Let's not just stare at my face. Oh, wait, how are we doing? 6 people. Holy moly. We were at 10 for a while there. Holy moly. Y'all are just for a little, just for little old me. This is, oh, spoiler alert. BBTS. BBTS got a restock from out of hell, y'all. They got the event exclusives. They got more Destroyas. They got more Shins. They're still waiting on their second batch of Ghidorahs. They got more evolved Gojis in. I would, if you guys have not gotten evolved Goji and you want the MonsterArts one, this is your time now. This guy was like $200 here, at the beginning of the year. So just be cautious. They got more 54s in. They got more minus colors in. They didn't want those minus colors in. Oh, they got more of the standard ones, but back at full price. No, I was gonna say if they had him for like $30, I'd do it then. Just get it out of the way. And then getting these from Adam, but I wouldn't mind getting two. I wouldn't mind having 3 total Rodans because I just want the swarms. I don't really care about having 3 alphas, so I'd maybe just like keep one or do something weird with like the third one, and just have 2. Maybe I would just do a triangle, like a trio de-dangers, and then just have a big swarm. So I might, if they ever drop this anymore, if they drop this to like $40, $30, again, I'll probably buy at least probably 2 more. So, what was I checking? Oh, yeah, I was the Tamashii effects, the explosions. I was supposed to put in Tamashii effects. I'm surprised Odo Island is at the top of the Tamashii. Yeah, there we go. So they got the red ones and the gray ones. So these are a little bit different than the ones that I use typically in my photographs. The ones that I use are from the Captain America from Infinity War. The Arrival version, whatever the hell they called it. I don't know, something stupid. I kept those when I sold that figure. I kept the explosions. So I just sold the figure in the box and, discounted it to hell. Someone bought it. I think it was like $16, I think. Someone on eBay bought it for a few years ago. But I've got 2 of each of these coming in, the red ones and the gray ones. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I need to get a few more of these. I need to get the smoke pre-ordered. I actually do need to get 1 yellow energy aura for the Dragon Ball display. And I gotta get a few more of these for my photographs. I need more effects. I need more buildings. I think that's really what's gonna help my photography and really help me learn to get better, is by having more to it. I feel like sometimes just the feeling of my desk takes away from the photos. And that's frustrating because there are times where I look at a photograph and I was like, this would be really cool if I had extra shit on it. Oh, hey, there's some Tamashii reveals, but not MonsterArts. We have the One Piece Ace Marineford version. Oh, they included some of it. Not all of it. He's got a lot of fire effects, though. That's really cool. So I was telling my friend, so this is like, I don't care about One Piece that much. But this arc specifically, I read this arc when it first was getting translated in Shonen Jump monthlies. Over here in the US, I read these chapters as it was coming out, so I have a little bit of a special soft spot for this specific character and Luffy. So I was thinking about getting the Manford, the Luffy that just came out, and now that they have the Ace, and he does have the thing that I was hoping for, I might get those like after they've come out, because it looks like they're both generals. And then there's a brand new Iron Man, interestingly enough, that comes out in September, a brand new Mark 85, the Infinity Saga, with it's basically just the Endgame one with a pretty good Tony Stark head sculpt. And then it does have the Infinity Gauntlet, but there's no battle damage on this Iron Man. So it's not the battle damage version. It's like a clean version of this. I wonder if this is like an accidental, like, slight spoiler to some of the new scenes added to Endgame. I wonder if this is a first look at maybe what's changed in Endgame, which, by the way, it is not good if after releasing movies for, what, 5, 6.5 years for phase 4 and 5, that instead of being able to be like, here's Doomsday and here's some of the big movies from everything leading up to Doomsday, Endgame very specifically has to come back and with new scenes. I think that kind of touches the legacy a little bit of Endgame, and I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel, because now not only is it going to have a new theater run, but it's very likely going to have another movie release with the additional scenes added in, and it's just kind of like the Doomsday version of Endgame, I guess. I don't know. I really love Endgame. I love it more than most people do, I think. I'm a very big finale, end of, a saga, trilogy set, guy. I normally I really always typically like the last movie. How to Train Your Dragon. It's been a while since I've seen 3, but I remember when 3 came out, I liked 3 more than 2 than 1. Scream isn't that way. Definitely not Scream. Like Godzilla, Shin technically is towards the end, but I typically like the last movie. The closures. Star Wars is like that. I like episode 3. I like 6. I don't like 9 the most, though. I'm really, after rewatching all of the movies a few times over the last couple of years, 7 out of the 3 newer ones really, I feel like, aged well. 8, there's points of it that aged really well. There's things that didn't bother me back in the day that now kind of bother me a little bit. And then there's other things that didn't bother me back in the day that definitely bother me now. Some stuff with Luke. But then again, like, if we didn't get the Luke that we got, we wouldn't have gotten that beautiful scene with the milk. So, like, sacrifices must be made. And then because of that, we got episode 9. And, like, that movie's aged bad for me, personally. I was not a defender of it when it came out, but I was like, I don't get the hate too much, but now, like, I watch it, I'm like, didn't age very well for me personally, and that's okay. That's okay, because there's some things that have worked like that where they didn't age very well. Like, even New Empire, personally, a few last year I would have been like, towards the beginning of the year and middle of the year I would have been like, I'm really not liking the New Empire. And then towards the end of the year, and once I got, like, Shimo and, the MonsterArts and started playing with them, and even when I got Zuko and Mothra this year, watched it a few more times, I was like, yeah, you know what? I kind of got a little too negative with this film. I like this, So, like, it's an interesting thing, I do that with bands and music too. I'm kind of like in that right now with Five Finger Death Punch. Really big into Death Punch. I got into that camp right around American Capitalists in 2011 because I saw them live. My dad was like, we hear them on the radio. We don't, like, listen to them. We don't have CDs. Let's just go see them because they were in town, or, where I live now, but I didn't live here back then. So it was a travel. It was them during the Trespassing America tour. Is that what it was called? I think so. Yeah, Pop Evil was on it. It was really fun. really big fan all the way up until Fate, and then Afterlife came out. Just not really impressed with it. Um, really, finally got the vibe of like everyone that, while I defended Death Punch up until that moment, hearing the typical like Death Punch, like, oh, every song's the same. That's when that hit me. And it has been that way. They did their new, their Taylor Swift's versions of their songs. Also really not liking those. And now they've officially said that they're like in deep on record 10. And now I'm kind of like, I was listening to the first album and the second album the other day, and I was like, damn, these early albums are really good still. But I just Afterlife, I can't. Kind of the same way with Disturbed. Not really feeling Disturbed's vibe too much lately. For quite a while now, actually. But hey, once that new record starts coming along, maybe that'll change. Kind of a weird rant, but like, things go in waves. Sometimes it's okay not to like something for a little while, and then come back to it and like it again. I'm eventually, my love for the anime trilogy will come back eventually at some point. Not right now though, and probably not anytime soon, because I'm still really not vibing with 2 and 3. But that's okay, because maybe in a few more years, maybe I will. Again, who knows? And you never know. I'm very weird. You just go through motions and you just do the best you can. You just be respectful. You know. I guess that's kind of it with this stream. Is there anything else I'm missing? I didn't realize that on the Tamashi's Instagram it has a footnote in the bio that says inappropriate comments may be removed. I've never noticed that. Oh, it's kind of funny. I didn't talk about it at all. I didn't make a post about it. Tamashi Nations revealed a brand new... This thing is sick, by the way. Brand new Final Form Frieza. This is Final Form Frieza 2.0. This is 3.0 engineering, but this is 2.0. There isn't an actual 2.0 era Final Form Frieza. They just used the 1.0 all the way up until this one point. They've re-released it just earlier at the beginning of this year or the end of last year. They reissued the Frieza Saga 1.0 Frieza with the activated Dragon Ball. So this is the replacement to it. The crazy thing about this, one, the new sculpt just looks insane. This really does look like Frieza Saga Frieza. I mean, these faces are just like, this is Frieza Saga. It's got the tail stump. It's got more hands than it did. We finally have open hands. We got the relaxed hands. We got grabby hands. We got death finger hands. No effect parts, but this is a general release, and it is 44,000 yen. It is literally, I think it's going to be like $27, I think. Importing it before shipping. $27. So, yeah. This Goku literally just hit the US market and is selling out. Actually, also have to buy this today. This literally just got reissued and is already getting another one. One, because of this Frieza, but also technically I think Android 13, and I think I think we're getting another we're getting something else that a shirtless Goku fights. But here's like the ace, all these fire effects. He comes with the chains. We'll get to the effects. Yeah, like look at all this. The first ace came with the jacket. He obviously doesn't have the jacket. He's got battle damage. I almost bought that ace figure actually because I really do like the flame effects, but I held off because I don't care for One Piece like that. This ace and the Luffy, this specific Luffy, and then get the big bads. Here's that new. Here's that new Iron Man. That this sculpt looks way better. Probably not gonna be that good. He's also, yeah, he's definitely not Endgame. It's like, I don't know. Is that suspicious to you guys? This is weird. It's cool as a perfectionist. Like, if I was a collector of Iron Man, I would like an Iron Man that's using the power gauntlet without all the battle damage and stuff to have like a what if scenario. But like, I don't know. Like, it's there's just something going on here. I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. All right, and then yeah, we there's still more reveals coming up. Like this is coming out because this details on the 26th. So this, so like okay, so this Demon Slayer effect piece. This isn't a new Tanjiro. This is just the effect pieces. I had a friend that was kind of annoyed that they were sending another one, but I was like, no, I think this is just his water effects and stuff. So his breathing form, whatever it's called. I don't watch the show either. Um, so it just shows that there's more reveals. Also, we got told that this is coming soon, and this is going to be getting tuned. So we should be getting maybe one, two, maybe even three Ultraman reveals. Maybe I'm, well, maybe only two, because this is probably one right here. It's the first 10th anniversary release, and it'll probably be Shin Hayata, and then this will probably be the web shop, and then we'll get a regular 60th anniversary figure. I think we're gonna get the movie graphic figures. I think that's what's next. I think the GMK Godzilla and the I don't even know this guy's they I just I it's got to be them unless we're only gonna get five this year and one of them is gonna be next year. They could do that. Oh, okay. Yep, yep, yep. I didn't know if you were still in the chat or not, Matt, because I know you've been busy as hell. Yeah, yeah. That's not the. I did Tamashi just spoil the end game? They maybe did. Maybe this is actually. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited for that movie too. Um, the uh, the descriptions of what the trailer is going to be when that gets revealed sound pretty fun. So yeah, I'm just saying it is suspicious that Tamashi is doing a new 85 with no battle damage with a face that looks way younger than his endgame counterpart. It just, I don't know, a little weird, but also like that's just kind of like this is the right time to do it with Endgame's re-release. They can be like, here's another Endgame Iron Man, and here's a brand new head. It's not completely accurate to Endgame, and then here's a non-battle damaged one, so it can be like a what if scenario esque type Iron Man. So Hot Toys, I believe, also did that at one point. I think maybe they haven't done that yet. I can't remember. I can't remember if they did a non-battle damaged Infinity Gauntlet Iron Man. I know they did the actual scene. So, but yeah, I don't know. So this was actually early. So this is the typical regular time now that Tamashi has dropped something. So like I said, I really, 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 if I had to put my eggs in a basket, it's probably going to be the movie graphics, GMK, hopefully. Please be the GMK and the Kiryu. It's either them or I think it's going to be Ava 1 G Awakening next. I think it's going to be one of the two. I would have said -0, but we don't have the full trailer for -0 yet, and we don't have a full design render available online. We've got a brand new -1 render, just the other day on a magazine cover in Japan, or a news article. A brand new shot, a brand new. It looked good, a little suspicious, um, and I can't. I just don't see them doing a MonsterArts reveal until the render's out. So I don't think it's going to be -0. Odyssey, maybe. I don't know if they're confident in Odyssey though. That's something the next time Articulation Series is live, maybe I should specifically ask him. Is what he thinks the chances of Odyssey is, because they said they want to do weird stuff. Great Clash, Ava Unit 1 G-Awakening is all a part of that. But like Odyssey is like, it's odd but also not odd. I'm sure the Japanese fans would go crazy over it. But I don't know if that would do really well over here yet, which could be a good thing, because then that just means that there's a lot less competition for it for me to import it, maybe. And if not, then I have to get it over here, but then less competition here. I'm dying to see the next Ultraman reveals. Hayata might be the most excited I've been for a release, but I'm praying for surprise. 66. Gessera Telesodon. That between them and Bemular, it's still so weird we haven't gotten Bemular. I don't know. It could be them. Jamila also is like a really good pick still. Yeah, X Plus. Yeah, with the X Plus coming, please GMK, not Kiryu Goji. I would say a 64 for movie graphics. I don't think they're gonna do well. One, for movie graphics, we gotta get GMK and Kiryu Goji solicitized first before we get any new reveals, probably. And I think they're going to avoid 64 because there's very likely an option that we do get a brand new 64 with a brand new sculpt in scale. So I don't know if they're going to re-release 64, because it does kind of sound like the movie graphic is what they want to do, but also some of it is based on popularity. GMK is a pretty big pick. Shin Awakening, also a very big pick. 2014 and 54, not really. And Kiryu Goji, really not either, because it's been reissued a few times in the last few years. But 62 and 2017 are probably my biggest picks to be next. That would be my guess. That would be my personal picks, actually, would be 2017 and 62 for movie graphics. But yeah, Matt, I do want to see Odyssey. I think it would be well worth for MonsterArts to risk it. It's a fun design. I saw a few things from one of the last new chapters. So without context, so like good time to do it. Very good time to do it. So we'll see if they do it. I personally am rooting for Odyssey. The other thing that scares me about that is that it is not on the voting poll and has not been added to the voting poll yet. So that's one of the things that makes me think they're not quite there yet. But that doesn't always, just because it's not on the voting list now, it doesn't mean it's not an idea, of course. So, but yeah, hopefully that happens. Best we can do, Gemstone, probably. Please. X Plus can't even do a general release Gemstone yet, though. So, or they've chosen. I can't remember. Can they not re-release the Gemstone now that it was a Wonderfest? Well, it was a kit, though. Resin kit, if I'm not mistaken. Matt, you remember what that Gemstone was? That a resin kit, or was that a vinyl kit? Because yeah, we haven't had any, besides the Movie Monster Series figures, which were still G-Stores exclusives. We haven't had a general release Gemstone yet, if I'm not mistaken. So Gemstone would be nice. I would love Gemstone. It was a resin kit from a different company. Okay, so it wasn't even X Plus. Okay, that's right. That's right. That's right. Okay. Once I once my brain was like it was a resin kit, I was like, I don't think that was X Plus then. Let's see. I'm gonna do a refresh here. Nope, nothing. Oh, I was for a second. I don't know why I thought I saw the GMK movie graphic, and I was like, and I was like, but no, it's not there yet. I guess it probably would be smarter for me to sit on X on my phone. I typically, sometimes I'll see some of the Japanese collectors. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait. Yeah, here's one of the Japanese collectors talking about the movie graphic GMK and Kiryugoji saying, "Hey, these haven't been released yet. I think it's about time." So, like I said, probably within the next few announcements. Maybe not the next two, but I would put my stones in that it's probably within the next few. So it was a relic. They handle non-movie design so odds. Like you can tell they want to push for it, but they're scared. Yeah, and I don't know if I blame them, but like they do definitely like at some point like as even as the Shin guy, like at some point you can only release so many Shins before they stop selling. Like now, like specifically looking at X Plus, I don't think they'll after this. I don't know if they'll ever do another gigantic Shin after dropping 3. Probably not. Probably not. So like they're gonna have to do something else, and they've got a very long list of gigantics. So like the 30 centimeter line, well, even in the 25 centimeter, there's no Mega Gearus. Mecha King Ghidorah's still out. Heisei Ghidorah's still out. Like eventually they do have to hit all those designs. There's no Scar King or Shimo. Just very weird. They they had to circle back eventually, but X Plus to me lately doesn't seem like they're really looking to do too much. Like they work really hard on a few brand new molds, and then they've been kind of doing the favorite sculptors for products line stuff. And I think that is really cool because it does one, it makes these resin kits not just resin exclusive, so you don't have to build them. You know, they're typically with X Plus pre-painted, so or most of the time pre-painted, unless they do a blank. So like, I don't mind that X Plus themselves is slowing down to give some of these kits and these other companies like extra. You know, it's just a win-win for everyone. You know, so like the favorite sculptors line Shin Godzillas that came out last year, I gotta try to get at least one of those because that was one of the kits that I wanted really bad from Wonderfest. But I'm no kit builder, and I am definitely no painter. So like I would have had to send it out to someone, which I wouldn't mind. It would be awesome to get someone in the community that likes doing that to, you know, to commission it and to pay for it. Um, but also at the same time, it's really nice to be like, well, I just have to spend a lot of money on the X Plus one as well. So, you know, so hopefully I can do both. So whichever one I get of the X Plus, hopefully I'll be one day able to get the Wonderfest typically exclusive resin kit version, and they can, you know, have a face off, you know. So yeah, there's a lot they need to do, and now like -0's looming. We saw how long it took X Plus to get -1s out. Will -0 be the same? Is that why everything's kind of slowed down? Is they're already starting to go through and be like, all right, 25 centimeter, 30 centimeter, gigantic finally this time. Defo Reel, like the Defo Reel X Gigantic line from them completely slowed down. It sounded like we were supposed to get almost, or at least the Godzillas in the Defo line, every Defo Godzilla release in the gigantic scale. And now we've only gone regular Shin, Awakening Shin, and 54. And 54 has gone 2 or 3 recolors. And that's it. Lines dead. Yeah, and that's what it could be. That's what, even for all the companies, Bandai slowed down. We talked about that earlier. MonsterArts has been kind of quiet this month. Everything is probably just being done to prep. This is the final push. So this is everything they're planning out right now is like, okay, this is October time, maybe even the beginning of November. What do we need out before -1 or -0 releases? And then what for -0 do we want to not only reveal, just by having something of it, whether it's a clear file or a poster or in battle line, or like a full figure, like like what do they want to keep hidden and what do they want to reveal, what do they risk being spoiled and leaked. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but this is the final kind of like oomph right before -0. Like, not that it's not like we didn't know -0 was coming out in November, but like Odo Island MonsterArts coming out, like it's all clear. This is going to be the final push of -1 stuff. It'll go right into -0, so we'll see what that means. So, and then obviously like 3 months, 3.5 months, and then Supernova. So like, there's no slowing down. It's not like New Empire where it was May, so there was kind of like a good break, even though technically Minus Color came out in January. It's literally just November, all of November. Just wait, -0, Minus Color in December and January, and then Supernova in March. I would be disappointed if -0 did not also have a Minus Color version, but I don't think that went the best. So I could also see them not bothering with it this time, but I feel like it would just be so thematic to be able to have both versions of both movies, as long as it's in this kind of like show a time period. Also, did you hear about the World of Godzilla being confirmed, one, to do spin-offs and everything like the MonsterVerse? Seems like a lot of gears moving. Yeah, I saw some people kind of some comments like on stories and even on X, like people were like, oh, well, yeah, this is like not new, like this isn't new news, but it's like the last time they really talked about this was right before COVID. And then, as we just recently learned from Yamazaki, -1 was almost canceled for COVID. So it seems like that initial kind of like tease that they wanted to do this as well with the MonsterVerse, 2 sets of worlds, just got slowed down, and now it sounds like we're finally here. Especially with them, being like Godzilla World, like this is it. Like we're gonna have, it's gonna be crazy that at some point in this world of Godzilla, like there's gonna be -1, -0, and then in a few years we're gonna get a spin-off that's still in this, and it's gonna be like goofy and like warm-hearted and spirited, and like still have some like challenge and some stress and maybe even some sadness, but not like what -0 probably will be, and what -1 was. It's gonna be fun. It's like going back to the Showa period a little bit, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do, if what they're saying actually does fully come to fruition. Now, obviously they're planning for it, but we have heard this before, and obviously things can change. So I want to say it all really lands on how well or not well -0 does, but like I just don't see a world where it doesn't do good, because like what is it right now? I'm gonna respond. Let me, before I forget. The original plan was a marketing push. Oh, okay, so this is a whole new plan. Okay, then that's probably me confusing the two plans as well. So, the idea of the first movies so far in the past, we have an entire timeline to just do whatever they want. Hell yeah, dude. Let me see if I can bring this up without leaking something that doesn't need to be out there. I was gonna say, because I was literally looking at it myself, and I was pretty astonished at there we go. That does. I don't think there's anything that's super leaky here. Um, this is a private folder, but I wanted to see where it changed. Yeah, these changed a lot already. So the Japanese teaser is at 2.2, and the English one is now right under 4. When I was looking at this yesterday or the day before, it was yesterday because it was at work. It wasn't. It was still close to 4 million, but it wasn't this close to 4 million. So like we're almost at 10 million with 50 seconds of footage. That's, I mean, this is the now in production Supernova announcement, and that's only 126. You know, where's 80? I mean, even the Ava, the 30th anniversary, like this is only at 6. And this has been out for officially for a month. So like I don't, reception might not be good in a version of this, but I just don't foresee -0 doing bad. I feel like most people that watched -1 will come back and at least just want to watch this just because it's a sequel, because they want to hopefully be get that feeling again. And I feel like it's gonna go well. It's gonna go very well. I think the way Yamazaki talks about -0 and the reaction from the fans, I have all the faith it's gonna perform over. Yeah, he's hyping it up. He is dangerously hyping this movie up. I like it, but it's scary. It's scary because if it ends up not being, I don't. The design so far. I just can't see how they mess this up. For me personally, the new design is already like Safubi, MonsterArts, Bandai, Ichiban, XPLS. I want to see it all already. Obviously, I want to see if there's another kaiju or 2 Godzillas, but like I really want this -1 edgelord design as a figure. I want it in my hands so I can just play with it because it's so cool. I am a really, really big fan of edgelord Mick Thick Arms. It's like -1 and Legendary just had a baby, and then 2000 spikes got thrown in it. I'm just a big fan of it. So far, with 1 second, I think, on screen. I think it's like 1.5 seconds of footage. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm not too worried. I can't foresee it doing not well enough. I think it's gonna do just fine, and people are gonna be pleasantly shocked. Larissa and I were talking about it, and she's like, "Oh, so I'm gonna like cry the whole time again?" Yeah. Oh, hey, there she is. There's my lady. Oh, she's telling me to. Larissa and I were just talking about it the other day. I'm starting to get ready to plan for it, talking about like how we're we're ready to cry and we're ready for it to be loud, because -1 was, even our quiet side theaters when Minus Color was in like the lower numbers, like those speakers were still pretty damn loud. So I'm excited to see this. I'm very excited to hear like the soundtrack. I'm curious to see how much music is going to be kept from -1. The fact that they're using Divinity/Last in the teasers already, like, just a really good sign to me. It's one of my favorite tracks. I don't know. I'm really positive, and once we get more information, we'll do a big minus zero stream again. I have not watched the teaser as much as I want to. Yesterday, I didn't. Larissa hadn't even seen it up until yesterday because I didn't actually show her. I talked about it. She saw me react, but she didn't actually like watch it, and then I didn't like pull her in to watch it because I just didn't want to force her to watch it if she wasn't ready. But she was like, "Yeah, I've been waiting," and I was just like, "Dumb me." Um, you know, we're excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, I'm just very, very excited for minus zero. You know, I really, I'm excited. It's just great to have new movies. Supernova, I'm really excited for. Excited for all the theories. Just, it's gonna be fun. Man, like, it's gonna be good. I can't wait. One thing I'm excited for that we talked about at the beginning of stream, and I'm gonna bring up again. I can't wait to see the posters for minus zero. Um, I'm really, really, really excited. Um, minus one, I went crazy with posters. Um, if the Japanese side of the 10th anniversary for Shin Godzilla, if they do some more different posters over there, I'll try to import what I can. I still gotta buy an original. There's a few different Shin theater posters that I want to buy. Hopefully in Japan. I need one of the red ones, just the headshot reds. I need the regular one of him standing outside. I'll never get over this. Two big Godzilla movies, two Ultraman video games. Yeah, dude. And then Ultraman, Monarch. Like we. Ugh. It's it's a lot. It's so much. And then yeah, Ultraman 60th anniversary. We have Ultraman Tio. Tio, is that correct pronunciation? Has GMK been revealed yet? No. They typically do it like by hour. So they did that initial drop right there at. I can't play that on stream. I can't play that. It's one of my. If you guys watch Meat Canyon, his newest like live action, um, team on the next, yeah, the movie with the new Zero movie, like probably like probably gonna have Belial somehow wrapped in because like like maybe not. I don't know what they're gonna do now that we know that they, or at least it's been kind of semi not officially revealed, obviously, but it's been pretty hinted at that we probably won't get more uh, Galaxy Odyssey until something happens, hopefully here in the future. So who knows what they're gonna do? The story kind of has to take a weird twist, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna do it. I keep looking at my thumbnail for Reckiness, and I keep wanting to grab Reckiness. I do want to take more photos of Reckiness. Angarius, Reckiness, and 54 Godzilla. Like, what a crazy photo theme. I don't even know, like, what I would do. Like, what would even be... I don't even know. I don't even know. That's how confused I would be. I don't even know how I would do that or what I would do for that. But now I kind of want to do it. Yeah, it's between Ultraman, between Godzilla. There's just so much, and it's only going to get busier and more expensive. That was the other thing way back. There is one more thing I'm expecting end of this month, beginning of next month. Or should be getting it here. I should be getting a email within the week revealing to me which batch I'll be getting, but I might be getting my SH Figure Arts Hyper Zeton within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I should, by all intents and purposes, by Nin's ruling, I should be in the first production run, and I thought I heard it was, I think Golden Week is next week, so I think maybe that should be dropping within the next few days, because all the pre-orders are just pre-timed things, so I don't think anyone's actually doing anything. Did you get Saga? No, I did not get Saga. So I didn't get the English run. I saw RJ's shipped, so not very far behind the actual Japanese release. Kind of impressed, not gonna lie. Obviously, it's still about a month, but like 3 weeks after release is not bad. That's pretty damn good. I will give P Bandai that. They typically they've been lately pretty good with their US releases, so I really wish I would have gotten Android 13. I did not get it or Fusion Android 13. I did not get it pre-ordered. So I'm going to be struggling with that. I want to get my 3.0 Dragon Ball Figure Arts collection started. This Frieza Vegeta drops literally in the next few days. Nexus for the Ultraman line releases in the next, I think he's on the 25th as well. I think Vegeta and Nexus is on the same day. Vegeta's only like $28 on HLJ, so I'm probably gonna add him to my box. I don't think I'm gonna be able to add Nexus. Starting to get a little bit too much for the Munmuns. We got bills to pay this month as well, so I gotta pay those first, and then I gotta get next month's pre-orders. Then we'll see what happens. So, because next month's actually kind of slow. Starting to look at it. We've MonsterArts is busy. We got 2014 and Final Wars and Gotengo, but after with those two, the only other thing I have pre-ordered is the Figma Firen Deluxe. I was able to get one of the deluxe pre-orders from HLJ, so I have that Firen pre-ordered for May, and then the only other thing that comes out in May that I have, the Japanese release for Base Goku 3.0, and then the reissue for Super Saiyan Trunks should be for the Figure Arts line. Boy Towards the Future. The beginning of the Android Saga Trunks. The basically 3.0, not 3.0. Probably my favorite Figure Arts ever. I don't know. I miss that Trunks a lot, so I've got that reissue obviously pre-ordered because it looks like they're not going to do a 3.0, true 3.0 of that Trunks. It looks like he's close enough in engineering and release, so I've got him pre-ordered, and I believe the English release is either in the next week or it's middle of May. BBTS wasn't sure. So, and then we'll see. I do want to get, now with no Japan trips this year, more than likely, unless something happens to plane tickets that cause them to drop. I am going to try to get back and caught up and keep up with my Ultraman, the SHF Ultraman line. So I do behind quite a few this year, behind quite a few over the last few years. There's a few large ones I'm considering purchasing, but gotta get Nexus, gotta get Mother before she gets expensive Galactron. There's quite a few releases from the beginning of this year and last year. I've seen a few Evil Tigas pop up on a few sites, and they go so quick. I I've just been screwed. I saw 2 of them on Mandarake, and they both sold instantly. I had time to bring up the link, didn't have time to obviously purchase it because I didn't have the money. So one of these days we'll be having an Evil Tiga show up at our doorstep. Will it be as cool as this 54 from Adam? Probably not. I know it's my honey's leaving. Have a great rest of your shift, honey. I'll see you in about an hour. I love you, you beautiful woman, you. This 54 is awesome as hell, and of course gotta thank Adam, Thirsty Thursday Toys again, selling it to me. It's awesome. I'm really glad to have a regular base 54 back in the collection. So and then to be able to have to have both of these ones in time for the movie graphic, to have all 3 for the review, to be able to do a complete comparison between all 3 in the review as well. It will be in the review, although I will spoil, the comparison section will be made into, I don't know if it'll be made into or if I'll record a separate short version of it, and then I'm going to post all 3 of them together just as a short. Probably maximum 1 minute. Yeah, because you can't play music for longer than a minute on a short, if I'm not mistaken, on YouTube. So I will probably have just a comparison short. I don't know, something kind of, fancy filmed, no voiceover, just extra footage to show. So there will be, the review itself will be complete, because I'm not going to do a movie, is it worth it to get the whole Godzilla 1954 movie video on here? I still can't figure out how I want to do 72 in the New Empire yet. So, but I'm not going to do that with 54. So we'll do kind of hey, it's been a long time, I got this figure back in my collection. I still think this release is really cool. Here's the comparison with all 3. Here's all. This is what I think. This is the one I like the most. This is the one I like the least most, but still really like, and stuff like that. That'll all be in the review. So the movie graphic 54 review is probably going to be a little longer, but it's going to be complete. So it will be complete, and it'll be a little weird, but we'll probably show it off on the base, the poster color versions, because movie graphic doesn't have accessories, so that means and I really don't think they're going to do this because of the movie graphic version, I don't think we're going to get a Heat Ray 54. Maybe an event exclusive, a Comic-Con one in a few years, maybe for the 80th. If we don't have a 2.0 54 by that point, or the line isn't dead by that point, or we all haven't blown up, I don't know. Maybe, so I don't know. I just don't see them doing an actual individual Heat Ray version for it. So it's likely that we might never get this flame effect in black and white. So gonna have to take your photos with a monochrome filter or a monochrome camera, or do whatever you can to make it work. But I'm very excited to see what the movie graphic looks like in a photo with the flame, and then obviously just turning it black and white. I think it's gonna look really cool. Dude, it's so cool. This is a low-key one of the best MonsterArts. I fear for the day, and I want to get a little bit more deeper into the line before I do this. I do eventually want to tackle a top 10 list of MonsterArts, but I would really like to have some of the older ones before I do that. I would like to by the time I do an actual definitive best of MonsterArts stream list type thing, I would like to have most of, if not everything, that I used to own, whether it's a new version, a new Decisive Battle version, or whatever. I don't think I'll have either of the Burning Godzillas, but that, I still have the 70th one, so it counts even though I own the original. I'd like to at least have everything I used to own. We don't even have the best of 25 out yet. Yeah, I know, and that's the other thing. I still don't have that video. I might order it on Amazon tonight. I want a turntable, the spinning table, because like I want it for reviews just in general. I want to spice up the videos a little bit. I think they've been I think my filming, like my angles, I think some of the cuts I've made and like some of the zoom ins on parts helps. Um, but I think it's still just a little too bland, and I feel like just having the figure being able to spin freely without me touching it, I feel like might just take a little bit of what is stressing me out a little bit, and take alleviate some of that stress and alleviate some of that blandness and just help spike it a little bit. So, but I really want that for the best of 2025. So, I am almost ready for that though. I promise I'm almost ready. Thanks to Destroya, I've been taking some photos with Burning Godzilla finally. Reevaluating my feelings on Burning Godzilla, which there might be some surprises because it's definitely gonna catch some people off guard. Uh, Still don't have the gall yet to touch Final Wars, but now I might just wait until the heat rays out, because if that figure has good QC, that's gonna make my frustration with the reissue of the standard Final Wars even more frustrating. But also like at least a little peaceful knowing that they did improve, thankfully, um, after getting obliterated online, because I know there was quite a bit of angry people after this reissue of Final Wars last year. So quite a few Japanese and global MonsterArts collectors were not glad. So I think there is a little bit of stress in the air for next month. So I'm very excited and cautious about Final Wars and Gotengo. But and then the only other figure from last year that I really need to touch just a little bit more, make sure I get a modern feel on, is the big Itch herself, Legion. I played with Gamera the other night. I've already changed the way Gamera is set up on my shelf. So now I need to take down Legion. Are they finally going to fix Thero for it? As long as it doesn't fall to pieces, I really don't care. That's about it. Everything else I'm fine with. The head sculpt is what it is. I'm okay with it as long as it's not painted too much like trash. I need the joint QC. That's all I'm worried about personally. I know other people have the head paint. Some people are worried about the eyes. I'm not too worried, but my Final Wars eyes were fine, and I saw some people's weren't. And then there's some people who didn't get either set of reissues that are still on the standard, the original release, and that one did have eye problems. So, by the way, I'm going to stay live for a few more minutes. One, because I haven't done like just a sit and talk theme stream. I mean, this is technically themed because we unboxed a MonsterArts, but this was always planned to also be just a hangout and chill stream. We've got a few more minutes till it turns 7 o'clock. We'll wait like a few minutes, like 5-10 minutes after 7. If there's no reveals or posts from Tamashi, then I'm out. If something happens MonsterArts wise, I'll probably end this stream, take Tater outside, because he's now ready probably to go potty here in the next 20 minutes or so, and before his mom gets home. And then come back, and then we'll do a reaction stream, so it's cut off and it's its own thing. So we'll see here. So that might be what we do. So if the movie graphics, literally, if they in 3 minutes or 4 minutes, if I refresh my phone and it's the movie graphic MonsterArts, I'll probably throw them up on screen. But then, like I said, we'll end stream, and I'll be live in about like 10-15 minutes after I get Tater out. So I'm back in, obviously. So he doesn't need to go. So one way or the other, I have to end stream anyways to let him out. So, or take like a 15-minute period. I might just throw like one of the reviews up on screen. Make you guys watch that, and then we'll take a break. I don't know. Are they gonna fix? Honestly, a big thing for me with that figure is how visible the eyes are. Yeah, and that's what throws the whole thing. You know, the head sculpt off is the eyes are just really big for some reason, and they paint the pupils the size that they're supposed to be, but because the eye holes themselves in the eye paint itself and the eyeball itself is painted so large, it just a jar of mayonnaise. Okay. It just really, yeah, it throws the look of the head. I mean, it also doesn't help because the suit kind of looks derpy when the lights are all on it too, unless it's got shadows over its eyes. So some of it is just, you know, some of the suit, but like it. I believe it was Yuji Sakai who did this figure. It's weird that he did such a departure on Final Wars. Let me fact check myself really quick with the Articulation series featuring MonsterArts. See who's the sculptor on this. Bad Itch. Huh? I'm pretty sure it's Yuji. Yep, Yuji Sakai. I'm don't quite know why he did such a weird face, but hey, it is what it is. At least, okay. So one thing we do know, this is an actual like factory Final Wars Goji right here. You can tell that's why the teeth are so round. This is an actual factory run of the Final Wars Goji. So I'm really confident that this thing is going to look this good. I honestly think the big thick teeth kind of help the look a little bit. But yeah, it's gonna really see, like right here, the eyes look fine. They're not painted huge. If they can keep it about that size, this is gonna run. And then the joint QC needs to be better. If the joint QC is good, then we're sailing. We're in a victory if the joint QC is doing good. Because if I get this and the joint QC is not fucking good, and my reissue is not fucking good, then both my Final Wars Gojis just suck, and I'm gonna be mad. So, but I'm not too worried. I know I'm focusing on it, but I literally have not gone like loosey-loo joints since the Final Wars reissue. So like I'm not worried. Destroya's great. Megaguirus is great. My 2000's great. The waist is kind of a little bit, but like it's not a big deal. Legion's great. Gamma's great. Movie graphic releases so far have been great. I'm not too worried, but Final Wars Goji itself has had some bad luck, so we'll see if they turn it around here. They really need to, because if this figure doesn't do well, they're already really hard to sell, really overly expensive MonsterArts Kaiser Ghidorah is going to be even harder to sell if this Godzilla doesn't land well. So pre-order wise, this sold really well. I know this set did do pretty damn well. Japanese wise, I don't quite know what the US numbers are, but I have seen it go out of stock on a few sites and then back in stock. So they're, maybe just make them black. Maybe not. It just kind of sucks this guy came out before SH locked in with new engineering. And that's kind of like the sad thing. Like, he doesn't even really necessarily need the new engineering, because he just has a shite ton of range as well. But I do 100% understand. Like, butterfly joints, like, honestly, like, butterfly joints are a saving grace. It looks like Tamashi's not going to be announcing anything this hour. So just make two Kaiser Ghidorah, charge 200,000 each for them. I would cry. I don't want that. I want easy access. Okay. It does look like there wasn't an announcement, which kind of makes sense. They typically don't announce things at this time. The US Tamashii Nations posted a Ace teaser like the Japanese page didn't do the full description or anything. Okay. Here's someone reacting to a retail Vegeta on display at a Tamashii store. The 3.0 looks good. His elbows suck. The elbows suck because 2000 technically has the same issue, but 2000s shows that they fixed it. Is his sucks because they don't condense back into themselves. They're just too long. If they could condense back in, he would get the close range, and they wouldn't look as long. But obviously, it's the old engineering, so it's not that well thought out. Unlike 2000, which completely fixed that issue. Also, yes, where is his fist? I don't. Tamashii. Maybe with Kaiser. There you go. Kaiser's gonna have the fists. It definitely isn't gonna have the heat ray unless they're gonna give Kaiser a blue version of this heat ray, this red one, but in blue. But then we don't even have a blue heat ray Final Wars. But then that's the event exclusive of the U.S. convention. Whoa! Blue heat ray Final Wars. Translucent blue with snow covering him, covered in snow. That's what it is. I just called it. I have no idea what the event exclusive this year is going to be. I have no idea what they could do. They have options, and yet they don't at the same time. There might be no event exclusive this year. Cover and Jargy. Oh. Maybe. Like, unless they're going to do what Dragon Ball eventually did and start doing new sculpts in the event exclusives. Like, I don't know what they could do. Nothing they can really touch on -1. I don't think they're going to do -1 as an event exclusive 2 years in a row. I don't think they would do a Heat Ray 2000 this quick, and I definitely don't think they would make it an event exclusive. I feel like they would save a Heat Ray 2000 for when they drop Orga, and then we'll get the Suit Accurate 99, hopefully sculpted by Wakasa after that. So, because it is in the voting poll, although we don't know if it would be Wakasa sculpting it. It just says Suit Model Accurate. Doesn't specifically say Wakasa, but obviously it would be smart to do Wakasa, so, or to have Wakasa do it. Burning Godzilla, if they did like a battle. Oh, I did say, did I DM it to Adam? Larissa and I were watching Burning Godzilla the other day, and I said, actually I wouldn't be surprised if the event exclusive, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Getting a snow-covered Burning Godzilla is what I said. And then Adam was like, actually, I'd really like it to be melting. Now, I've heard rumblings that the Super 7 Meltdown Godzilla was not necessarily the most loved thing by the licensing, Toho licensing. They still allowed it. But supposedly some felt it was maybe a little too harsh. So what they could do is they could basically do another Burning Godzilla, but make it really orange, so less, his regular skin paint, and then because all the dorsals on his back are all individually painted or glued in, they could do half melted dorsal plates, and that's what they could do to make it different, because we don't have a melting Burning Godzilla, so that way it's still, and then it would obviously be battle damage as well, so it would have the cuts from Destroya's horn, and maybe that's something they can include. They could be like, here's an extra effect for Destroya, we're just going to complete this, we're going to round it out, here's Junior's effect, here's a new red spiral for Burning Godzilla, to give an extra flair, or maybe they'll do the I know a lot of people don't like the plastic sheets, but like maybe they would give us a clear plastic sheet of like the wave that's coming off of him, you know, as his dorsals are melting and all the waves are coming off, just to give us a little extra oomph. You know, they could do stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Toho America was like all for it, and yeah, Japan Toho was supposedly not super happy, but obviously it still passed. So I just don't think that they would do anything like that for MonsterArts, but like the dorsals half melting and just making Burning Godzilla like have really really big orange patches, basically not leaving too much skin. Kind of basically redoing the original Comic Con explosion, but just making it the 95 mold. They could do that. After that, like I don't know. Like we have a Heat Ray GMK. We have a movie graphics Heat Ray. Kiryu Goji's getting re-released with movie poster paint with the snow on it. Like I said, they could do a new mold, and what they could do, I don't know why this would be a US event exclusive, but if it happened to be the Tamashii Nations and the event global event exclusive happened to be the same again, they could do Tokyo SOS Goji and or Kiryu. That would do well. With a neck found, probably not. No. Well, I mean, they let the 72 head go in, but it also is pretty like, you know, it's not very apparent. So I feel like 74, as long as they didn't like have any sculpting, and it just had the red raining down, and it was not vibrant, I feel like maybe they would allow it. Like, I don't think 74 Anguirus is ever, you know, I don't think they're gonna do like a busted jaw on him. It would be really cool. I mean, it's obvious that they've done gory things in the past. I mean, Gamera's got his fucking arm blown off, Gamera 3, so like they could do it, but probably not. If Toho does not like the idea, MonsterArts Bandai typically doesn't either. So remake 72 Anguirus, but with its skull split in half. Yeah. See, and I would love that. I personally, you know, still kind of you kind of agree with people that maybe that's what we should have gotten this time. You know, we should have gone with Anguirus, because it happened with Godzilla, but not Anguirus. But red would probably look a little bit more, you know, vibrant on Anguirus' head, so that's probably why they didn't want to do it. Make it stylized, have his brain show. Jesus. Yeah, probably not. But I don't know what they would do. I guess like the final, like the SOS Godzilla or Kiryu's probably it, unless they do something MonsterVerse again. They could do like a more translucent, like hot pink evolved Goji. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Like that's it. I don't expect to see a new Kong. They're not gonna do Shimo or Scar. -1 is done. Shin, probably. I would be shocked if Shin was the event exclusive for the US or Japan. I guess they could do another Shin, but probably not. Yeah, there's not actually not a lot of options. There might not be a MonsterArts exclusive this year, and that's just something we're not going to know until they say that they have a MonsterArts exclusive or they don't show or tease one. That's all we have to wait for. So that's it. So it's been about 15 minutes past the hour. Like I said, seems like Tamashi's done, at least for right now. They very likely there's probably going to be a drop in about 45 minutes, and if there's not another drop in 45 minutes, probably something tomorrow. So Um, that's okay. Like I said, the next general wave of pre-orders for general drops is the 28th. So we will very likely. That's why I think it's the movie graphics. I think it's going to be a general reveal or two because the movie graphics seem to come out in pairs. At least like for solicitation. Um, that's why I think it might be them. If it isn't, and it is a web shop, and this probably could change when the pre-order timing would be because the web shops don't typically always follow the generals, but sometimes they do. The Ava Unit 1 G Awakening, I don't think is going to be a general release. So I believe that will be a web shop for Japan or some, hopefully not too hard to get. Because I feel like if it's some sort of event exclusive in Japan, it's probably not going to convert to the US at all. Um, at least not naturally, MSRP wise. So hopefully that isn't the event exclusive this year for Tamashii Nations or Global. So yeah, if they do, I really don't know what they're gonna do. Tokyo SOS Goji or Curious probably my main guess. Like I said, new reveal in the next few weeks or a few days, within the week probably. And Movie Graphic 54 will be here hopefully next week. I still haven't gotten the email for the tariff charge yet for 54 from Genki, but they said it might take a few days. They said they would like to get it done so they could get it shipped out before Golden Week. But if it doesn't get shipped out this week, then I won't get it for 2 weeks because next week is Golden Week. All of Japan will be closed. So yeah, I guess yeah, maybe I won't get it next week. Maybe it will be the first week of May. It might be the first week of May for 54. So and same with Hyper Zeton if I get this waves. So exclusive Heat Ray 72. I just don't think they're going to do 72 as a US event exclusive. I could see that being a Tamashii Nations, but not the SDCC exclusive. I really think they're going to. But they did 89 though. But they still have a shit ton of 89s. But I mean, you could say the same thing about the -1. People did not like the price of it, and the fact that it didn't come with the Shinden did turn people away. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. There might not be a MonsterArts event exclusive this year. Might not. But there could be. And it could be something crazy. Or it could be something really simple. Either way, I'm ready and not ready for it, and as soon as I know and I have confirmation or full official solicitation, I will let y'all know. So hopefully y'all have a great night. Thank y'all for chilling and hanging out for almost 3 hours. I did not plan on going on for 3 hours, or two and three quarters. But it felt really good to hang out with y'all tonight and chat. So I really thankful for it. So thanks for hanging out. Once again, my good friend Thirsty Thursday Toys, Adam, thanks again for the 1954 original Godzilla. 1954, the original release, the 2016 release. I really, really, really like this. I'm glad that it's back in my collection. Or, well, yeah, I'm lucky to have this figure back in my collection. And I can't wait to compare it with my Movie Graphic Plus 54 in the next few weeks. Everyone have a great night. Take care. I'll see y'all later. Bye, everybody. Oh.